Welcome back, everybody, to an amazing, spectacular, stupendous edition of the USFL Podcast. I'm the ref, as always, representing Pro Football Newsroom, the home of USFL Newsroom, among all the other newsrooms. Joining me, I got my man, Zach. Did you miss me last week, my friend?
I definitely did. I was so nervous that I shaved off my mustache.
Which I'm telling you, you're looking good. You could have played it off like an April Fool's thing. I'm actually ashamed that I didn't use the opportunity of not being on the show last week as an April Fool's. It happened to me as I was watching your rendition of the show Friday morning. I said, oh my God, why didn't we tell people I quit? Why didn't we tell people I quit? That would have been the funniest thing ever.
That would have made some fan speculation zone going on out there. Man. I would have loved to seen the turmoil on our socials or Discord.
Such a wasted opportunity there, but I'm sure you saw my April Fool's post on XFL Newsroom that Kevin Hart was bringing back the World League of Football.
Oh yeah.
I mean, people didn't like it. People were angry at it. But that's what I like about April Fools. But you know what? We're past April Fools. We're past unlucky number 13. We're at episode 14, Zach. And we're just over a week away from SpringStock. The USFL kickoff, SpringStock, April 16th. The party's in the parking lot. Where in the parking lot, Zach?
The green lot,
baby.
The
green lot. The good lot, as they say. The good lot. If it's not in the green lot, well, I'm not going to say that because people are going to be partying all over the place and I don't want to be mad at them. But if you're looking to have a good time, come get a burger, come get a dog, come get a pop or a soda, as you might call it, because we're having fun. Plus, we're going live, baby. If you can't make it to Birmingham, we get it. We're going live on YouTube starting at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going live. We got a boatload of guests, and we started announcing them. And I think we might have our final one here, but there's always two sleeves, Zach. Two sleeves, both full of tricks. There might be some more goodies coming. We got Ron Frederick, former Birmingham Stallion wide receiver from the OG USFL, coming back to Birmingham, joining us live. You probably saw his interview before. We're going to be catching up with him again. We also have Roy S. Johnson. I mean, the man on the scene. He's been there since day one, reporting all the facts on the USFL coming to Birmingham. Alabama.com's own Roy S. Johnson will be joining us. Plus, we got some podcasts. My man, Tron Hawkins of This Is the USFL Podcast, is going to be hanging out with us, heading to Birmingham. Like I said, Zach, we're going to be talking about how we met, and I know he's got some takes on the game. We got some newcomers as well. Actually, they're not newcomers anymore. I think they're on like a episode 10 or 11 now.
Yeah, they got a few down. These guys got a few in.
And they're a good group. If you haven't checked them out yet, the USFL show, they're coming down. They got a game plan. I'm not going to spoil the surprise yet, but it's definitely going to be fun. Now, this one's a big one. The End Zone. YouTube journalist, The End Zone, over 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's coming out to hang with the little guys, the USFL Podcast. We couldn't leave this, though. We got Jim Mernier from Inside the Walls Podcast, Controlling the Chaos Podcast. He used to do some XFL stuff as well. Now he's going to be talking USFL with the gang. But last but not least, and this one we haven't announced yet. But honestly, we couldn't have done this event without this man right here.
That's right.
Tom Abraham of the Tom Abraham Show, ESPN 97.7's own, is coming down to hang out with the USFL Podcast. Come out, like I said, from 12 p.m. to at least 4 p.m. Central, 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out with us either in the parking lot, in the green lot, or on YouTube. And here's the good thing, Zach. You might not leave empty-handed. Might not. Beyond being able to scoop up one of your very own USFL podcast trading cards that we showed a couple weeks back, that's in person only. We're also doing a couple giveaways. We have that Steve Young jersey, replica LA Express jersey from Retro Royals. They also hooked it up with a few hats. We have 3 hats, a jersey, and guess what, Zach? I got some SpringStock shirts. I got a USFL podcast shirt. So we have giveaways in person and online. So if you can't come to Birmingham, you still have a chance to get in on the fun.
It's going to be
just a little
man.
over a week, Zach. We're going to be in Birmingham. We're going to be there on the scene, cooking up burgers and dogs, talking to the fans, meeting people face to face. Now, we've talked about it. This is your first time meeting Tron in person. This is our first time meeting in person. I don't know how I've skipped over that this entire time. You guys online might be watching, say, well, these guys seem like they're pretty good friends. And we are, but we've never met face to face in person. It's also my first time meeting Jim. It's my first time meeting everybody on our guest list. And I'm looking forward to meeting all of them and all the fans that show up.
I'm the same. I mean, all these people I've never met in person. I've mostly talked to them either via social media or via Zoom calls. I know Ron, when we had our interview, I've been looking forward to catching him since we talked, because he very much after that interview was like, you're going to be there, right? I'm like, oh yeah. It'll be a blast. Roy obviously being local to the area, love to have him on the show. And, Tom has done so much for our show, not only giving us guest spots on his radio program, but, also 97.7 FM, giving us some sort of assistance with SpringStock. We owe them a lot of gratitude, and we'll hold that even more so afterwards as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, I just love traveling. I just got back from WrestleMania. I mean, so if anybody was wondering where I was at last week, I was at WrestleMania. Not only just WrestleMania, I was at WrestleCon, the wrestling convention. And I'll tell you, my wife and I, we got there a night early, which was great because it was essentially just the staff members and the wrestlers. And one of my favorite things to do this is my 5th WrestleMania, my wife's 3rd. We didn't go the last couple years for the reasons you would imagine.
Sure.
Right?
Obvious issues might have been at play.
So anyway, my favorite thing to do at these things is just people watch. I don't necessarily I don't like to walk up to the groups of wrestlers and bother them because, they're just trying to have a drink at the bar or have a dinner or whatever. But Zach, I love watching other people do it. I love watching other people weirdly stand behind, for instance, RVD was at the table across from the bar from us every night. Every night there was RVD, the Boogeyman, and there was an X-Pac. They were like the crew at the bar every night. And I would sit across the bar and I would watch people just walk up. They always did the same thing. First, they would walk next to the group and look at the mirror and order a drink. And then they would turn around and just kind of nudge over closer and stand there and wait, hoping that somebody would acknowledge them and say, hey, how you doing? But it never happens. And the guys do see them and they're like, oh my God, we got another one of these guys lurching over. You can see them okay, all right. Yeah. Then they finally get the courage to go in there and be like, hey, by the way, I'm your biggest fan. And after a certain amount of time, they're just like, oh, thanks. Great. We're just trying to have a drink, have some dinner. I watched it happen over and over and over again, and it never got boring. Now, I haven't actually really watched pro wrestling in a long time. Every now I'll watch the big events, but I don't watch Raw every week. I don't watch all these shows.
Okay, so I see what you're saying.
The first show of the weekend was the WrestleCon Super Show. So in our hotel, they had 6 wrestling events in the hotel. So we didn't even have to leave anywhere. We could eat there, drink there. I had cases of beer in my hotel room, and I would just, in between the matches, go into my room, grab a beer, come back down, and drink at ringside. Front row. We bought 4 drinks the first night, Zach, $120. $120 for 4 drinks. After that, I said, nope, I'm going hillbilly style. I legit had them send a refrigerator to my room, and I unloaded 3 cases of beer, and I have no shame about it because I'm a much richer man because of it. Now, anyway, the first match of the weekend was the best match of the weekend. Now, you might think, well, that's a shame, right? Because the other matches didn't live up. No, the first match, honestly, it reignited my love for professional wrestling. Not necessarily WWE, but like indie small wrestling. It was 2 guys, Bandito, which is a Mexican lucha, and he's got a mask and it with like a bandana sewn in. And he comes out in like this full white garb and a big hat, and it was a very grandiose entrance. Then the next guy was this guy from Quebec who is a Taekwondo guy. I don't know the correct term for Taekwondo guy, fighter. I don't know. Unique
combo, but all right.
He is a Taekwondo master, if you will. These guys had the most amazing match. I'm not joking, Zach. I'm going to have to get it and send it to you. You have to watch it. They must have had this match a million times in like smaller places to where it's not on broadcast TV. So, I mean, if it wasn't in Houston, Texas, and I wasn't there, I didn't see it, right?
Okay.
It was so fluid. Everything from the jumps, the flips, to the chops, to the way the guys were getting in the ring. And it would just be like jump off the top rope. He would catch them. They would flip. He would hit them. He would bounce back. They would do a chop. But it was just so perfectly flippin' fluid, right? And that was, I said, wow, I haven't seen a good wrestling match like this in a while. Because WWE, I mean, they're WWE. They're good, but they're not trying to be professional wrestling. They're sports entertainment, and there truly is a difference. Sure. And I appreciate both for different reasons, right? And so that was the first match, and I said, wow, nothing could beat this, and nothing did, but one came close. So about 2 or 3 matches later, do you watch wrestling?
I watch when someone has it on, so
you wouldn't know who like Johnny Nitro or Johnny Mundo or Johnny. Couldn't
say I know any of those.
It's the same guy. Somewhere along his career, it just became a gimmick that his name is Johnny, and then his last name is where he works. So it's like Johnny Impact.
Okay.
And so here he was Johnny WrestleCon, and he was wrestling his wife, Taya Valkyrie. Now, they're both very good wrestlers, but what I loved about it is they made a gimmick for the match. So before they fought, they went on social media and started arguing about who had to do the dishes. And so it became
so they made a storyline.
Exactly. And it became a stipulation of whoever lost the match had to do dishes for the rest of their life. And they come out, they do some bickering on the microphone, and she orders the people to go in the back, and she brought the dishes, right? And so, of course, there's just trays of dishes sitting outside the ring. And then they start using them. But it was again, just such a fun match, very fluid. And it's just the idea of a husband and wife getting to wrestle and have such a funny little storyline around it. It was good. Now, one last story. And this is all from the first show. The last match. Now, the last match, this one's not necessarily in the ring related, but it's been a long time since I've seen someone shamed so hard. So, if you're at a wrestling show sitting front row, it's almost customary that you banter with the wrestlers. If it's a bad guy, boo. Okay. If it's a good guy, try to give him a high five maybe, right? But there's a limit to that. right? There's a limit to how much you can say boo. Like you can say boo and you can maybe get close to them, but you should never, ever, ever, ever touch them. And when you do and you get the look, you should say, okay, that's it. I'm going to just shut up, right? Well, this guy, he didn't necessarily try to hit him, but he got in his face, gave him the double bird. I won't do it on camera.
Okay.
And the wrestler, his interest got piqued low key. If anybody out there is a wrestling fan and knows who he is, they will also know low key is a no BS kind of guy. He's kind of known for not being a bad guy in and out of the ring, I'll say, right?
All right.
And so the guy touches him. He gets in his face. Security pulls the kid out. And the security, by the way, is one of the guys that I was drinking with Wednesday night when we got in. So him and I had a good, fun conversation after it, right? So anyway, they cart him out. And low key goes in the ring and he grabs a microphone. He's like, no. And he turns. He's not even talking to the crowd. He looks right at the kid who's at the exit where they're pulling him out. And he said, don't make him leave. Put him back in his seat now. I want this dude to see what I'm capable of. And it goes on like a couple minute long tirade of all sorts of things I cannot repeat on this family friendly show. Right. Amazingly, the security brings him back. Right. Which also was the shaming did not end. So as the match continued, every time low key had to throw somebody outside the ring, he made sure to throw him outside right in front of that dude. He was sitting front row center, against the on the other side of the entrance. And so when he threw him out, he just didn't throw him out of the ring. He would throw him into the guardrail. So every time the guardrail would move, it's clanging this dude in the knees. And then he would grab the guardrail and be like, yeah, you want to touch me now? You want to get on the other side? Relentlessly shamed this dude. I've never seen it was and the dude just sat there for the rest of the night. But he was scared to leave because he knew if he got up, he was going to get called out. Right. He knew if he didn't move, he was still getting called out, but he didn't want to get the double microphone call out. Right. He already knew he done screwed up and just wanted to get out of there in the best way possible. So the next day we're sauntering around, my wife and I, at the convention. And I see low key pop up at his table. He had just arrived. And I said, I got to go talk to this guy. And I'll tell you, him and I had a good laugh. We went through the whole scenario about that. I bought a couple things from him. And my wife and I went down. We were sitting outside drinking a coffee, retelling the story about last night, and then talking to low key about it and how funny that is. And I turn around and the guy, the shamed guy was sitting there getting double shamed. He had the double shame. So I feel I'm sorry, shamed guy, but you learned a valuable lesson. That's only the first day of my wrestling trip, but I'm not going to bore you with the rest. But that, I think, encompasses why I love pro wrestling. Less of what's on TV and just being there front row and seeing just the insanity go on, right? I'll be posting pictures on the Ref Says on Twitter, so I got a bunch. So,
well, I bet folks over at Fox love you because of the fact that they have WWE in their corner. Actually, both networks probably love you that are associated with the league, since Peacock has WWE as well.
Sign them up.
This, in a way, connects back. It's still in a way.
We're getting there. Couple other items though before we kick into the news. Man, I did a long intro there, but I'm telling you, if you don't like it, fast forward. You know what I'll start doing, Zach? I'm going to start adding chapters to the show on YouTube so people can skip past, the usual old ref never shuts up intro. Starting tomorrow, you'll be good.
You're too mean to yourself.
Anyway, if you don't want to listen to me, what you could do while I'm rambling is you could head over to royalretros.com, use Coupon code USFL Podcast to save 10% off of all your orders. We have retro USFL gear, World League of Football gear, if that relates back to the April Fool's joke, old XFL gear, all sorts of stuff. So if you want to support the podcast, get yourself some fresh gear. Use coupon code USFL Podcast. Now, here's an opportunity to get something for free. Once we hit 5,000 subscribers, we're over halfway there. You can win yourself an authentic USFL jersey. It's going to be pre-ordered, so they're not going to be available until about mid-May. But once they're available, we'll send it to you, or once we get to 5K, depending on before or after, you have a chance. All you got to do is make sure you're subscribed. And you know what? Click the bell. Builds morale. That's what I need to do, actually. I told you before we kicked off, I'm a little bit tired. You're a little bit tired. We need to go unclick our bell, re-click it, get a little bit of morale, get hype, get live. That's how you could feel right now. Hype, live, and full of morale.
I'm good now. It's just been a week for me and for you.
We're getting there. All right. So I think those are all the big ticket items that we had to go through. Let's get into the news. So we have some broadcasting news, seemingly. I don't know if this has been officially confirmed. I think two of them have. There's some speculatives in there. But we got, what I like to call the dream team here. Kurt Menefee, Joel Klatt coming in to be the top guys at Fox. Similar to what we had with the spring leagues that we had on Fox previously with the XFL. Now, I think I've said this on the show, but if I haven't, Fox, and I swear I'm not saying this to be a brown noser. Fox is my preferred broadcaster when I watch NFL. As I was saying it, I said, "Oh my God, people are going to get me for saying this." I swear it's true. I can
hear the keyboards on the YouTube version clattering right now.
But it's true. It's true. And nothing against NBC because they're my number two. And I know I'm probably going to get hurt for saying that. But I'll be like CBS Sports. Let's be honest here. CBS Sports leaves a little bit to desire. And I'll probably get some flack for this. I'm not a huge fan of ESPN's broadcast. I don't like their graphics is the big one to me. Not the broadcasters per se. Their graphics just look like they haven't been refreshed since 2003. I don't know. I'm getting off track. So either way, though, I love to see this. We kind of had some inklings that this was going to be the case, at least with Joel Klatt. Back when, and maybe if you remember, I don't know, but back when the USFL had their new social handles on Twitter, just at USFL, they only followed USFL Comms, a couple other guys. One of them was Joel Klatt. Now, I will say, I did call it out in an article, and within an hour, they weren't following Joel Klatt anymore. To me, that was it. I said, okay, Joel Klatt on board, sign him up. Now, we didn't know about Kurt Menefee, right? And honestly, there's going to be a lot more guys that we discussed that are going to be involved because there's a lot of games. We're talking like the lead team on Fox here. But what are your thoughts? What's your initial feelings here?
So really, it just is kind of rehashing what they already did in 2020, as you referenced. They were the main broadcast team for Fox for XFL 2.0. Joel Klatt, one of the better color commentators for Fox in terms of football all around, mostly, of course, with college football. Him and Gus Johnson are their A team for Fox Sports. And I think a lot of people wanted Gus Johnson. Remember, Gus was with Reggie Bush and company for a few earlier meetings with Fox on talking with Birmingham about the league itself. So I think people then thought that, actually, there were some people I then thought that maybe it was Gus Johnson and Reggie Bush that were going to be on the calls. But that is now, I don't know if that'll happen. If Gus Johnson's not on your A team that with Joel Klatt, who they already have a chemistry, then I'm going to say that's not going to happen.
I could throw a speculation zone out there.
Sure.
Maybe it's not always Kurt Menefee. Maybe Kurt Menefee's there for the big opening game, and then you move in with Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt going forward, or switch them off, right? I don't know. Speculation zone, of course, everybody. Speculation zone.
Yeah, you can throw it in there. I'll blow on my stance where I'm just saying, like, Klatt and Gus already do college football as the primary national broadcasts every year, or for the last few years, really. So I just kind of I was thinking maybe they would team up with them and not go with the XFL lineup. And Kurt Menefee is I call him serviceable from what I saw. I don't think he goes above and beyond. Like his voice is great. He has a great voice for broadcast and for, production work. And obviously NFL and Fox, I love him on there. I'll be honest though, I was about middle of the road with him with his 2.0 play-by-play calling. He doesn't bring much energy. I think he calls a lot of stuff in a similar tone or similar, at least cadence, unlike Gus Johnson. And so I was kind of hoping that they would cue in and be like, well, Gus doesn't really have any college football going on. And, they don't have maybe other broadcasting elements. I don't know all of Gus's work off the top of my head, but I would have thought this is a great time for him to hop in. But obviously they trust Kurt. Those two have already worked together in a spring setting. So that's why they're doing it. And Menefee has done play-by-play calling. That was his earlier days at Fox before he started doing NFL on Fox in 2007. He's been with Fox since 1990.
Now I'm going to make a counter argument to what you said, though. So I agree to a certain extent on some of the things you said. So yes, he doesn't maybe bring a lot of excitement, but you know what I think he does bring is a big legitimacy factor, right? So imagine for the people flipping through the channels as the game's about to kick off, you're going from people that are used to watching the Fox pregame show Sunday mornings, seeing Kurt Menefee out there, flipping through the channel on a Saturday in April, May, and saying, wait, why is Kurt Menefee there? Whereas if it's a Gus Johnson, they might say, oh, well, maybe this is one of the strange college game or like a spring college game, one of those types of things, and kind of skip past it because that's not their cup of tea. But you bring in, and maybe I'm going a little bit overboard with it, but that's where I see the benefit of having somebody like that. I think just the familiarity, nothing against Gus Johnson, but I mean, if you're going to say which one has a bigger name, which one's more known, I would say Kurt Menefee, and getting those channel the channel flippers in there. I mean, and here's the thing. Nobody had this discussion. This was not, nobody at Fox was like, yeah, this is why we're going to do it. But I'm adding in my, me, Zach, I got a thing on everything, right? I got a take on everything, good or bad. So that's what I'd say.
Well, I mean, look, again, Kurt's done it before. It's just that he's not active as much in that side since he started doing pregame show production work. Behind the scenes type of stuff for Fox, NFL and Fox, and of course the halftime programs, the post game on that network. So I get it. Like, what is, it's like the big question, say you're a football fan, you start thinking a little harder, like what's Kurt do in the off season?
Right.
And so this is something I think that gives him an option to do a little bit more, obviously diversify or get back into what he was already doing before he joined up or before he switched over to what he does currently. So I'm fine. Like, I don't know. Gus, like a lot of people really love Gus Johnson. And plus the USFL, their whole angle, and this is kind of my conversation I had with RJ Young last week that we put on the YouTube page. That was the angle I was talking with him because, he's a college football analyst at Fox. So, my thought is you can get the college angle, meaning the pro angle. Gus Johnson better encapsulates the college angle, I guess. So that was my take, but Kurt's fine. Look, and we'll play the clip here. I just don't want to see a repeat of the opening week in Houston.
Cam Phillips caught. Touchdown, Renegades.
So yeah, I don't think he's going to do that often. It's just, that was and I had a conversation. There's one person in particular who goes on by the name of Hever21 on our Discord. When I posted the quote of that, he went, "Yeah, that was a big letdown moment for me watching that when the XFL was going on." I was like, "Yeah, I facepalmed at that too." Kurt, I think maybe getting back in the saddle. I don't want to see that, and I want to see a guy that's a little more energetic. Joel Klatt's perfectly fine. He's one of my favorite color commentators. I have no problem with Joel Klatt. I need more out of Menifee though. Like second chance for him.
We'll see. We'll find out soon. April 16th. It's just over a week away. And depending on when you're listening to this, maybe even less than a week. Or it might have already happened. You might be time traveling here. But we have a couple other names. Now, these ones aren't as confirmed. So the first two that we talked about, so John Orend of SBJ, Sports Business Journal, he's the one that kind of officiated those names, made them official. Mm-hmm. So I feel safe talking about those two. The next two, I don't know. All right, Zach, let's get into the speculation zone. We talked about two of the guys that were confirmed from our man John Orend from Sports Business Journal. But now we have a couple other names that might be seemingly in the mix as well. So that's why, again, speculation zone. No pitchforks, no fire, because these ones might not happen. But we got Kevin Kugler and Jack Collinsworth. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The one I'm more excited about, not that I'm less excited about the other, but I'm really excited about Jack Collinsworth. We've talked. I don't know if we talked about this on the show before, but I mean, he is like a splitting image of his father. And kind of going back to what we talk about with the spring leagues, it creates an opportunity for players, coaches, even down to the cheerleaders, national anthem singers. We're kind of seeing it come into play here in the booth as well. We saw it with the XFL with Greg Olson. Now we have Collinsworth coming in the mix. And then Kugler, and I think they are both good fits here, neither of which did spring football in the past. But, I mean, what are your thoughts here? I mean, specifically on Collinsworth, right? Like, a good fit, bad fit, too young, ready to go.
No, I mean, look, he's an up-and-comer. He's been rising up on getting big, larger projects with NBC for some time now. I mean, he helped host the halftime show for Super Bowl 56. So he's getting up there. You know, you can talk all day about his dad, you know, on what your thoughts on how his dad is a color commentator, or him and his dad's association with NBC being that way. But dude is talented. Guy has definitely got the voice for it, even if he sounds just like Chris. But he's got a good voice for broadcast, and he already does some on the side. I mean, Atlantic 10 games right now are his primary one, based on NBC's press box kind of a bio on Jack himself. So that's his main go right now. He does plenty, of course, for Football Night in America. He does other football podcasts does a lot for Notre Dame football. He actually does stuff for NASCAR. Like, he's all over the place. So this is a springboard for him. The USFL is definitely going to be a springboard product. He fits the mold perfectly. For sure. You know, you're not taking away from you're not putting, I would say, someone that might be, you know, too big of a personality to where you have to, you know, worry about taking time away from some other products. You're putting someone that's an up-and-comer and that people, I think, will recognize right out of the gate. He also does sideline work for Sunday Night Football. So people already know who he is. He's been there for the last 2 seasons. He's done sideline work, if I recollect. Sure. So they know him.
You know, funny enough, on a similar note to what I was talking about, that legitimacy factor with the Kurt Menifee, it's not necessarily the same at all. But for people flipping through the channels, I'm telling you, if you haven't heard Jack Collinsworth compared to his father, it's almost identical. I mean, if you're not looking at them, I can imagine it's even more difficult. Like, especially if you're just flipping through the channels, somebody might hear that and say, wait, football, a Collinsworth, not the right one, but we got the junior in here, not junior, but the younger coming in here, making a name for himself. And then same kind of with Kugler here. I mean, he's kind of a up and coming kind of guy trying to get into the scene, and this could be his launching pad as well. Right. So,
yeah. I mean, Kugler's definitely done a lot. I'll say Kugler's done a lot more than.
Oh, no. Yeah. Sorry.
And that's mainly because Jack keep this in mind. Jack graduated out of Notre Dame in 2017. Yeah, he's young. And he got right into NBC out of the gate. So he's been doing a lot of stuff since he's gotten out of college. He was doing a lot at Notre Dame too. Like, there's a lot of stuff from project days, like Notre Dame Live is like a sports broadcast, like interview series type of live show they do on campus television. It looks like. So he's been doing a lot in 3 years. Kugler's done a lot in terms of his overall career. I mean, we're talking college basketball, baseball. He's done fill-in spots for football and on several networks as well. And he's become more and more of a main Fox guy that they're leaning on for their sports commentary. So, if he's going to be, say, for a different crew on Fox, he fits the bill too. I mean, I'm wondering what they do. Maybe if they want to do it this way, not saying they will, but I'm wondering if Klatt and Menifee are the Fox broadcast team, and then you have Kugler and someone else as the FS1 team.
Right. Could be
wrong, but that's something I could see them doing.
It would fit the bill. I think that's similar to what we've seen in the past with the different leagues that have come across Fox. I mean, let's be honest here. They had the Spring League and the XFL, and I think they did something similar, and maybe not with these folks here. But yeah, I think that would fit the bill. Again, speculation zone, everybody. Speculation zone. No pitchforks, no fire. Stay out of the mix. But overall, names I'm seeing here, I'm happy with them. It could be, I mean, there could be a lot of situations where there'd be much more up and coming types of guys that you maybe not known any of their names. These are all familiar names. I mean, for the most part, that people are going to recognize. It's like I said earlier with Kurt Menifee, I think he brings a legitimacy factor. And then with Collinsworth, I like seeing I'm very excited to see him in the booth if this actually comes to fruition, because I want to see can he hold his own, right? This will be, and maybe he's done basketball, but football, it's a little bit different. Let's see how he can play it out. And like you mentioned, this really could be a launching pad for him to bigger and better projects, right?
I think absolutely. Like I said, Jack does hold a professionalism about him, a lot more so than you expect from some people his age going into this role. So again, definitely a rising star. NBC's got some good ones down there. He is one of those that would not be shocked if he's run the main broadcast. I hope that, and they're supposed to be, like the league and at least the networks, that is, are supposed to be revealing this before week one. So we're going to get an official release most likely next week. Funny, I mean, Jesus, 1 week away.
We'll be talking about it next week, probably, yeah.
Yeah, but like we'll be talking next week as an official, and probably whoever else fills in. So those are supposed to be officially booked in next week when we get ready for that April 16th and 17th week one slate.
It's getting fun. It's getting exciting.
So, something I just realized while we were talking. So this is episode 14, is it not?
It is.
Guess when episode 15 drops?
The day before SpringStock. Oh, is it April 15th? Yeah, wow.
It's April 15th.
Man.
The stars
I love it.
I
love it. And I mean, if we count SpringStock as an episode, the 16th episode drops on the 16th too.
You see, everything's coming up Millhouse.
I'm loving it. Just like some McDonald's, so sign us up.
Oh my God. See, but obviously those jokes will get cracked out again next week and people are going to roll their eyes. But nonetheless, I'm just saying things are lining up. We'll get,
go on.
And we'll get that. Yeah. We'll get that announcement next week too, and other bits.
Yeah. So I'm getting hyped. I'm getting excited. Just every time I hear a week away, it dawns on me a little bit. Oh my God, we're a week away. We're like, seriously, a week away from partying. We're going to pack protective, buddy. We're going to pack protective.
Oh man. I'm feeling it. I did notice, out of the registered premium seats for that game, it looks like they sold out the seats.
I believe so. They were getting close the last I checked, but that was before I went on vacation. So yeah, I wouldn't doubt if they're gone now. And did they not? Which is different
than premium general admission. I have to specify that you can still buy those.
Yeah.
Just not the designated $40 seat tickets. That's the ones I'm talking about.
I'm curious to see how many people show up. I hope we see a good head count for that first game. Right.
Well, the weather is looking like so a few days ago, before even now, like someone shared the weather forecast for the weekend and was like, I'm sorry, what? 60% chance of rain or no, it was 40%. And I went, that's a little too close for comfort, but it has stayed at a consistent 20 and like partly cloudy for both days, which has a big smile on my face because unless something stupid happens, weather can change. It's probably going to stay that way, and I'm going to be very, very glad.
Me too. And just to even elaborate on that, the 20% rain, at least from what I can see, is supposed to start around 11 o'clock at night. So we should be good. It should be around 70 to mid 70s, partly cloudy. You know what? Here's the thing, Zach. I'm hoping we just get a little bit lucky. The clouds part for a little bit. Give us some sun for SpringStock. But even if there is no sun, we're still going to have fun. The party's in the parking lot. Get a free burger, dog, or pop or soda or whatever the dang kids are calling it. Speaking of kids, Zach, you know what? One thing that for the life of me, I cannot get the hang of.
What's that?
Stupid TikTok. I shouldn't call it stupid TikTok.
Oh,
but
here
TikTok.
we go. Look, the USFL, their recent posts the last 2 days have been like been more like stuff where it's like, join the Discord, join the TikTok.
Right. I mean, just because I don't use it doesn't that they need to promote to that. I mean, TikTok is huge right now. I mean, I'll tell you, my wife is into the whole TikTok thing. I don't know if she's doing TikTok videos. I hope not, but she's watching. She's always on the TikTok, and that's why. And see, that's how old I am. I call it the TikTok.
Well, I said the same thing a second ago, and I actually shuddered a little bit.
No, Zach, just embrace it. You just had your birthday not too long ago. It's just so much easier to say the in front of things that you shouldn't, that you just start saying it. But the TikTok.
Get off the darn TikTok.
I mean, I can't get with it. My attention span's too long for TikTok. It gives me a headache. You scroll and then you scroll and it's like a dog dancing around, and then you scroll and there's someone washing his car. Then you scroll and there's like all sorts of things, and they're all 20 seconds, and I can't get with it. The one thing I will say, the USFL, they're not getting crazy with it. They're so far very mild promo. They're very ref approved promos. Now, I am curious to see though, as we get through the season, again, it's not for me. So I don't want them to cater for people like me on TikTok, because people like me don't use TikTok. I am curious to see if we get the extra meminess or the different personalities from the different accounts. We're starting to kind of see that on Twitter. As of now, on each of the TikTok accounts, it looks like it's just really the jersey or a variation of the jersey promo and what should people know about you interview with some of the players. But I would love to see some of those, like, don't let your memes be dreams, meme magic type things come out through the season. Some savageness against other teams, maybe.
So the one I did see that is from them, it's they've already used Chase Demore in one of their videos. It is they call it the Water Cup Challenge. And I'm only saying this because I don't use TikTok often. Like if you think I'm sounding like an old man, it's because I just don't use it. But I guess I'm going to be using it now. So because of the league, I didn't even use it in the XFL, but now I'm just kind of like, all right, I'll do it now. Water Cup Challenge, essentially, here's the deal. Go check the video out on their TikTok, the USFL. It's pretty much whoever of the two people competing makes the cup of water overflow has to do some challenge. So like this one was like I think it was two Panthers teammates. It was Demore and it's not Patterson. He looked like Patterson though, and I didn't see him tagged. It was like whoever overflows has to do like an extra like 10 gassers
right
at practice. So it's just one of those things you're like, it's a very reactionary type of video, kind of funny.
Bringing some humor into it. Like I said, I can't be mad at it. They'd be silly not to do it. I was actually surprised. I was more surprised when they launched a Discord, right? That one.
Well, that one, that caught me off guard a little.
The good news, to me at least, is the marketing team behind this is well aware what the younger crowd is using, right? I mean, let's be honest here. Going to places like TikTok and Discord is specifically targeting that younger crowd, which, if you want to survive, if you want to be successful, not for year one, not for year two, but year 10 and 20, you got to get them young too, right? I mean, that sounds bad, but from like a marketing standpoint, realistically, like most of your hobbies are created when you're 17 or under is really what I'm trying to get at here. I'm not trying to say that they're like, Joe Camel over here. I'm more saying that one of the things that the XFL did very well is they had like youth camps, things like that. We're seeing the USFL do that as well over at Legion Field. So bringing in the younger crowd, get them excited. I mean, the games are no cost if you're under 15. This is a good way for them to learn about it. And I mean, have a little bit of fun. I mean, that's what TikTok really seems like to me. It's like the fun social media group. I'm a cranky old man, so I can't get down with that. But, sign everyone else up that likes to, have fun.
I think the content's what I got to find. Cause like there's some stuff cause I've used TikTok before. I just don't use it enough cause there's some stuff on it where I'm like, too much of this comes up in my feed. And I'm like, it's a little awkward. Like a lot of the videos use, and credit, the one that I referenced also does use this. They use an AI like voice generator that reads off whatever text is on screen. And to me, that just makes me instantly go, yeah, I'm not it feels very fake type of vibe. But that's just TikTok. Like that's how it's like there's tons of videos like that. So it's one of the things you just got to get used to. It's the highest used video platform now in the world. It overpassed YouTube this past year. So it's going to be, you have to have it on there. Now I will say, and people have been asking for this too. Hey, USFL, I assume you know this, but I would love a YouTube page if that would be nice. I've had, it's amazing. I've had, besides just Discord talking with people, there's even a few people that ping me. I'm like, how do they not have a YouTube page yet? I'm like, hey, I don't know what to tell you. I don't run it, but I'm kind of shocked.
Here's what I'm going to say.
That hasn't happened.
Here's the deal, USFL. You don't need a YouTube page. Here's why. All right. I don't want the competition, Zach. I want the search. I want the search real estate. You stay away from my YouTube. All right, guys. I'm kidding. Of course. Of course I want a YouTube channel. I just had to throw a little bit of fun in there. And I think we'll get one.
No, that's when they integrate us. See, that's right.
Hey, sign us up there as well. Here's my take though. Here's what we could see happen. I know Fox has a YouTube channel, but I'm assuming Fox Sports has a YouTube channel as well. We might see the clips start dropping there, but I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen a YouTube channel yet. And it might just be because there's no content for it yet. Maybe as the United by Football clips start dropping, when you need something, a platform that can host more than 2 minutes and 20 seconds, like Twitter. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's when we'll see it, because I mean, you look at the last social media rollouts. It just happened, right? One day it was USFL official or official USFL. I can't remember what it was. And then all of a sudden, hey, boom, here's the USFL account and here's all the other team accounts, and they're all there overnight. Right.
Right. No, that's fair. Well, I think you make a great point with Fox Sports, because a lot of people even ask, like, where's the app? And it's like, well, they kind of have a good setup on the Fox Sports app already. I'm going to be frank with you. Like, and again, this is like you talking about like Fox's broadcast, where it's like, I don't mean to be a brown noser, but I'm going to say this here. Like, I wasn't using their app. I've downloaded it to get the USFL stuff, thanks to Jake Henry pointing that out. I kind of like it. Like, their setup's good on there for it. So I still think that down the road, like next year, an app should be something you think about for, like, here's direct engagement for your standings. Here's direct engagement for the shop. All that stuff that's like another quick, easy step to get fans in the door and using the league's resources, or, shop pieces or ticket buying and all that. But for this year, I mean, it kills two birds with one stone. It gets you on Fox Sports' app, and it does a pretty good job from what I've been telling. Like, Fox did a good job designing it, and all the stuff's there. Like, all the rosters are filled out, all the roster player numbers, the standings are in there, the whole schedule. Like, I could keep going on and on. It's set up really well. The USFL has its own tab in the score section.
Sweet, right?
The XFL barely had that representation on any sports app. when it was around for the 2.0. Just keep that in mind. Like, that's already a step in the right direction.
For sure. They're definitely getting treated well by Fox. And I think you're right. Like, to me, an app is a nice to have, not a need to have. What they have with Fox is very serviceable because the app it runs well. It has kind of all the information the bare bones information you need. Sure, it's not going to have for instance, your tickets. That's a lot, like a lot of tickets are digital. With the XFL, you could have an app that all that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you're not going to get that for year one, but we're going lean and mean for year one. But if that gets us on the field for year 2, 3, 4, 5, sign me up. I can wait on an app. There is something there. So I don't know. We're slowly but surely getting little bits and pieces come out. But the fact that you mentioned, it's not necessarily highly prominent on the page, but they do have their own dedicated section that's in the main part of the navigation. Like, you don't have to go to more sports to find USFL. It's just right there. It's a natural thing when you go to the page.
It's 2 clicks. You type in the website, you hit scores, and they are the 5th tab to the right, like in the 4th full league. Because they do on Fox, it's top, and then it goes right now. It's kind of based on like what's prevalent right now. So MLB, NASCAR, NBA, USFL is right after the NBA.
Yep.
So you have those options. I don't know. Like I said, I don't mean to be. If you think I'm sounding like a brown noser, it's like, fine, I'll let you take that take for those listening in. But seriously, like the only reason I started using the app is because it's the best way to follow the USFL right now.
For sure.
If you want to do it on mobile, like, that's why. And it's a pretty good sports app.
No, definitely. Now, the one thing I wish we could follow more is the team scrimmages, which took place earlier this week. So it actually took place the day that we're recording on Thursday. See, I'm keeping up with those segues. I'm reining them in a little bit, but I'm keeping them up there.
I thought, you aren't going over
that last show. I mean, I needed a week off after that one.
You aren't going overkill, so I appreciate that.
But we got the matchups here, at least for for who took place at the scrimmages. So we had the Gamblers, Breakers, Stallions, Maulers, Generals, Bandits, and at least we're going to have the Stars and the Panthers, but I don't believe that took place, at least at the time of recording, just yet.
Yeah, I didn't see anything on social for that. Just the 3 as of recording.
Now, if you do want pictures of some of the practices, I know Scott Adamson, I saw he was posting a lot of pictures from the practice and the scrimmages earlier. So shout out to him. I know he's going to be doing an article that'll probably be out by the time this episode comes out. So make sure you check that out. Adamson Media, just shout out, credit where credit's due. He's on the scene right now.
I don't know about you, Stefan, but I'm looking to that article, and a few others are too, because Scott watched the scrimmage for this game. Scrimmage. It's a game that's not official, and it's also testing out elements. Nonetheless, he gets to watch how these people have caught up to speed. So I'm wondering, in his write-up, which will probably drop after we're done recording and like as we're releasing it on Friday, I want to read up like, hey, how did this look? People want to know how this is going to look with 25 days to get ready. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm curious to see, we know there's images. I don't know if he had any footage of the events or if he's allowed to release it, because that might be a touchy situation too. I know going back to the past with other leagues that I won't mention, but you could probably figure it out. They didn't like it.
Well, remember too, there was a local affiliate. Actually, I think it's WRBC. I could be wrong, but one of the local stations tried to film a practice, and they did a stream, and someone walked up and shut it down during the stream. I don't remember which team, but this was early on in training camp. So like this is definitely, they don't want to have any competition issues between teams. Of course.
And I mean, at the same time too, if people get footage of that and they don't understand that it's training camp or a scrimmage, how people could be on the line. Oh, look at the USFL. There's nobody in the stands. They're barely even trying out there. So that's trust me, Zach, you wonder why, Stefan, you're very paranoid about pitchforks and fire. I've had it all, and I try to do my best to keep it away. So I assume others are similar in that, where, it's just in their best interest for something like that not to be out there, unless it's something that they professionally put together, like a package where they have a chance to massage it, maybe put some background music put some transitions and clips between them, then at least they have the opportunity to spruce it up. So I get it. I know a lot of people were mad online because they wanted to watch it, and I get it. I wanted to watch it too, but I understand. So yeah, we're probably not going to see like official scores or anything like out of a scrimmage. I don't even know, quite honestly, if they were keeping score.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna get those. I mean, you got photos. You had people that, or you had accounts that were writing like, "Hey, watch out for this player," because like I say there were a few that were scores. I know DeAndre Johnson. They were saying he got a rushing touchdown. I think they were doing like because it looks like they were doing like, and again, this is all speculation on it because we only got certain things. There weren't really anything we could find that was like, here's what they did for the routine, but it looks like they did like almost like a standard drive for some sets. And then if I'm thinking of a scrimmage, kind of like if I'm going all the way back to high school now, Jesus, you have like your main drive scrimmage series where you switch on and off. And then you'll do a goal line scenario situational series, which I definitely saw some clips from a few counts that it did look like they were doing goal line plays. So they were practicing that in a game time scenario with that.
And I wonder too, because it sounds similar to what they did in the XFL, where it wasn't a game per se. They're lining up different, just really trying to practice the big areas where you're going to be starting from. But I'm curious, and this is what I'm hoping to see in Scott's article as well, is did he get a look at the shootout overtime? Right? Is that going to be a part of it? I assume if it was, he probably would have said something about it online, so maybe not. But I hope it is there, and I'm curious to see, maybe not images, but if he did get some footage, that could be, I would love to get a peek at that before we have the opportunity somewhere throughout the season. Hopefully, please give us an overtime game, because I want to see it. We got to see it.
I'm hoping. Like I said, I'm looking for his write-up, just because, he is pretty honest. He's very honest about, looking at on a football product. He's seen it all. Like Scott is a resident that has seen it all go through Birmingham. He worked in Birmingham in the news scene there for a long time, came back a few years ago from when I had interviewed him last time. And so he knows that Birmingham has kind of seen all of the alternatives come and go, whether it's, we're talking CFL, World League of American Football, obviously, XFL 1.0 and many other ones, arena football. I can keep going on. They have had so many. So, obviously this isn't even the USFL, the OG. So you have to keep that in mind. Now he'll get to talk about that. Another part of this that, is been brought up, and this was brought up by a RBC in Birmingham, is, they're doing getting officials in. They did a clinic the same day as a scrimmage. So those officials also got to practice the rules during the scrimmages. So another aspect of it, along with broadcast practice, which is part of why they do this too. Right. You want to get used to game flow in the stadiums you're in. They did them at Protective. Yeah. So you want to be used to the main place you're going to be for your venue. Exactly.
That makes sense why they would do it at Protective. Most of the games are going to be there, at least from what I could tell, on Ticketmaster, because all of the tickets are on sale. I think there's only,
Legion is
I think there's only
few.
four.
I mean, there's a handful.
There's only four. And it might even be over 2 days. I can't even recall. So there might even be only 2 days worth of games at Protective. Now, going into it, I thought there was going to be a few more, and quite honestly, it could change, right? Because the schedules aren't even finalized as far as the teams. I could see them maybe needing Protective for something for a week and say, okay, well, we're going to have to play at Legion, and it's kind of serving as a backup, the practice field, so on and so forth.
Right.
But you brought up a good point, right? So beyond this being a practice for the players, the coaches, all of that, we're getting the practice for the broadcast. We're getting the practice for the officials, or at least the clinic. Do you want to go into more details on the clinic? Because I'll be honest, I'm still getting out of vacation mode, and I don't want to do it any injustice here.
I imagine you are. So this was just brought up by WRBC over in Birmingham. Essentially what the deal is, as you know, the NFL and the USFL are kind of partnering up in terms of, kind of bringing the next generation of referees into the game. Mike Pereira is, of course, leading that being the head of officiating, being ahead of that department. And RBC got to talk with him. And so here's a few quotes just kind of with that discussion. So quote, this is just him based on the officiating. So quote, these are like players. They are trying to take that final step into the NFL. That is in reference to the referees. And then another quote, this is the perfect stepping stone for them. The NFL is involved in the educational process with us, and we've had countless Zoom calls with NFL supervisors and coaches. So again, they were brought in Thursday as of today, to do this. And they were helping officiate scrimmages for the ones we were talking about that went today as of our conversation. So again, they're coming in, they're learning, much like the players are getting ready for games. So, that's going to be what we're looking at. And, you got to get that first night game crew ready. Remember, 2 networks. It's going to be a lot of eyeballs on Protective Stadium. You got to get the calls right.
That's the thing, man. It's been, this is the first time we've seen, us. There may have been people around for the last time, but it's the first time for a lot that there's going to be a simulcast for a sporting event. So like you mentioned, there's a lot of potential eyes, and there's one thing that's going to turn off football fans fast, and that's bad officiating, right?
Bad play and bad officiating are the two burdens when it comes to doing this right and getting people hooked.
So it's good to see everybody kind of getting their reps in early, getting the ball rolling. Like I said, a week away. It still kind of blows my mind that we're about a week away. I don't know. We're probably not going to hear a lot of news from the USFL other than maybe the broadcasters, maybe some radio pieces.
I think we're going to hear a lot of like clarification on other people. So obviously our speculation zone will turn it into like the I forgot what nickname I called it when it becomes factual. the factual land. I forget. I said it when we had the speculation zone of the United by Football turn to the realm of reality. That's what I called it. So maybe we'll see maybe Jack Collinsworth and Kevin Kugler enter the realm of reality here next week, and we get to talk about them and whoever else might be on, because Jack Collinsworth isn't the only guy. They're going to have most likely at max, I would say max 2 crews, because USA is the other, like USA is the cable component, much like FS1, so they're going to have to deal with that.
Right.
We'll see. That's going to come out. We'll maybe get a few other tidbits, like you're talking radio.
Yeah. And and the one thing I know that I've been seeing increasing questions about is international broadcasters. So we don't know.
Yes.
We don't know. I assume
I did see something
will be in place.
I would recommend going to the Discord. This is, I'm not even promoting. I'm like serious. The Discord is great for this stuff for the USFL, because they do have Fox people in there, along with those that are working with them for their NFT projects. But they have been really responsive at getting fan feedback. That is something that has come up. I have not been able to look back and see if they found a solution, but that was asked in there. So we might find something out by next show.
Speaking of the Discord and the NFTs, I was talking to a guy at WrestleCon that had just gotten back from South by Southwest in Austin, where Daryl Johnston was speaking, and he saw the speech, and he said they are bullish on the NFTs. I guess according to the guy that I met at WrestleCon, according to him, Daryl Johnston's saying they're gonna have a lot of different options when it comes to NFTs. You're talking the first USFL touchdown, that's going to be an NFT. We already talked about the players having an opportunity to kind of craft their own NFTs and get kind of a cut of it. So I'm actually a little bit interested. We're going to have to see by the end of the season who's got the bigger NFT collection. And I think it's going to be me, because I'm a weirdo.
I don't know if I'll be investing in any. Obviously, folks have heard my stance on them, but I am intrigued to see where it goes. That's what I will put it down as, just because you never know what'll be added and what player projects will be in there. That's what I'll be looking
at minimum. And again, we could be wrong on this, but from my understanding, according to the guy that I met at WrestleCon, that heard Daryl Johnston speak at South by Southwest, very long chain. According to him, you're going to be able to get NFTs for every game you attend for free. According to him.
So you're telling me when we're down there next weekend, I better get some free
I
NFTs.
believe it's I don't know if it's like a NFT of your ticket or if it's like a commemorative, like, I don't know the details, but according to him, there's something in the works. Again, speculation zone. And if if anybody out there knows more about this, whether you work at Fox or don't, drop us a line because I'm curious. I think that might be a way to draw in some people for that opening game. Hey, free NFT. Get a free NFT for showing up to the game. So again, speculation zone.
I actually want to circle back with this too, just because Johnston speculation zone, just because I've seen some promo shots, and I believe someone had a Fox promo shot of announcing Klatt and Menifee at, I don't know if it was South by Southwest, but it was some other event. I think it was a Fox press event, but I almost swear I saw Cougar on stage with Moose. Is Moose going back?
Yeah, I saw that speculation. So you're thinking of the tweet that was put out by Edward Hartman. And he had tagged Moose in it, and I believe Moose was on the stage as well. And he called him the Dream Team.
Moose is a good color.
So
Moose is a good color commentator.
It would be definitely interesting. I wouldn't be mad at it, but it'd be interesting because he's got the relation, like a direct relation with the league, right? And so could be very interesting to see that play out. Will it happen? I don't know. Definitely speculation zone. And like you mentioned, I know a lot of people in the Discord were curious about it, but hopefully by the time we have our next episode, we should have those names. I'm thinking we will. We'll see.
I mean, we should. If we don't have it by next episode, they're going to be waiting. They're going to be waiting till like the last minute to announce it. I'll say. And you know what? Even add on to Moose here. I'm referring Moose as in Daryl Johnston for those that
not a
aren't
literal
figuring
Moose.
that out.
Yes,
just being honest. Or I'm not referring to like my fandom for Supernatural, so I'm not referring to like Sam Winchester or anything. Anyway,
over my head, I don't know.
Nerdum aside, I'm just going to throw that away. Look, you can tell he's definitely the face of this league now. Like, I almost forgot. Like, it's almost like you forgot Brian Woods is involved directly.
Well,
he talks. Because Moose does so many spots for Fox.
Well,
now.
It's like there's the in the front of the camera business guy and the behind the scenes business guy. And I think they're both playing those parts pretty good. Brian Woods is just getting stuff done. And I mean, quite honestly, if you look at the Spring League, he got stuff done. People have their opinions, good, some bad. But I mean, to me, I feel like there's a very good dichotomy between those two. You got Daryl Johnston, which I think is fairly beloved among football fans. I mean, it's very rare. Rare that I hear somebody say something negative about Moose Johnston. I hear a lot of positive things. So, I mean, clearly that if you want somebody in front of your camera, you want the guy that everybody loves, right? So, I mean, it's working out. And like I said, the behind the scenes stuff, it's all happening. Everything's working. We haven't really hit a hitch. So far, so good. The team is working, I think, the way that it's expected. And hopefully it continues to work this way because, I mean, like I said, once we get through this season 1, I'm thinking it's going to be a soon confirmation about the season 2. I don't think fans are going to have to wait months to learn. Maybe we'll have to learn when they're going to kick off season 2, but I don't think we'll need to wait months to learn. We are coming back. We're also still going to be on Fox and NBC. At least according to what the contract was reported to be a multi-year.
It was multi-deal. Right? There was multi-year deal.
Again, there could be a way out of that contract too. I don't know what it says in the contract, but I do think we're going to get confirmation not too long after. And going into that season 2, I mean, it's been a while, Zach. It's been a while since we've seen this. And I mean, they're going to have new competition next year, different parts of the season. But, I mean, we have to talk about this, right, Zach? I know we're the USFL podcast.
Yeah, I feel this is worth talking about on here because, again, we've started trying. We only bring up leagues if it's necessary. Like, yeah, we reference the XFL with Menifee and Klatt because, that was what they were doing. So that's why. It's their main competition. So, and it made a lot of waves, not just in like all circles, but right. it's talked about. Sure. Let's do it. Come on.
So the XFL logo, Zach, I'll start. I'll be the bad guy.
All right.
I don't think it's horrible, but I don't think it's good, if that makes sense. My biggest question about all of it, and I do understand parts of it, and I'll probably argue even my own points here back and forth in a minute, but my biggest question out of all of it is, why buy the brand? Why buy it then? Why not just start a football company and name it whatever you want and make it look however you want? I mean, you did a poll, Zach. You did the poll. Which logo did people prefer? V1, V2, V3. Which one won?
It was V2. Roughly, it was 56% of my votes, which I believe was over 200 votes. And again, that's all like this crowd. So it's not like I'm anti XFL. If you follow my Twitter feed, I like all football. I'm not a biased football fan. So yeah, like a lot of people wanted 2.0, and yeah, I kind of did too. And I'll preference this. I'm just not a fan of minimalist design that businesses use. Modern day logo design, I do not care for. It is just my take. I like to have a little variety, a little more layers. I know it's supposed to be so that you recognize not only it's simple and it's quick recognizability for your audience and for your customers. That's why they do it. And that's kind of what they're doing here. And it's a new era, and that's the whole deal. We have a new ownership. That I would have stuck with the same thing. I don't know. Like the XFL just that's me. You know, maybe it's not Vince's thing, but I wish it was not changed. I'm not ticked off.
I mean,
I'm more just like I'm more the guy that's like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Here's what I would have done. And I think it would have accomplished what they wanted, because I think the version 2.0 logo, I mean, it was almost perfect in my mind, except I didn't like the italics. I think if they straightened it and then added the color treatment and just made it black and gray, boom, there you go.
Oh.
You have the recognizability of 2.0 that you spent $5 to $15 million on, and you get your own stamp on it. And that's what I would have done. To me, and again, I'm a marketing guy, right, Zach? So I think of
that is your background. Got to preference.
So I think about the center of the field, right? To me, that logo, it's not bold enough to put there. So I think we get the X.
Well, that's right. What's in the background for? Because it's just a white logo.
Yeah,
the background's just black to emphasize the logo design.
Right. Well, I'm saying even if you inverse it, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but I feel like they could have gone. I'm sure there was a group of people that worked very hard on this, and the people all around them probably enjoy it. Thought it was good work, and it is good work. But I mean, they were getting clowned online by Axe, legit Axe, the actual body spray company, clowned on them. Now, I mean, I thought it was straight Rippling, the XRP logo. Both of them have an argument on it. The one thing I've heard online, the one complaint that I've heard online is it just feels like a clothing brand logo, right?
That is, it feels like it's a subdivision of Under Armour.
Straight up, yeah.
Because of the fact that, you know, The Rock is associated with Under Armour, and funny enough, there's Under Armour apparel now in their shop. So I don't know. Take that as you will for an XFL show beyond this one, or beyond this podcast that we're talking. But like, rounding all things together, like why are we talking about it? You're probably saying again, look, it's their main competition. You know, they had to do something eventually, and I know that it was funny. You have some folks going, "Oh boy, USFL's done for now," and I'm sitting here, I'm like, "It is." A logo drop did it in? Are you sure about that?
There's definitely.
Have you been following what's going on?
There was definitely some people that were angry yesterday because they thought, okay, we're getting a logo because the logo leaked early. And I mean, God bless Jake's.
Oh,
Jake
Jesus
is a
Christ.
saint.
That is
Jake, because Jake didn't leak it. He didn't spoil it. we all had it. And Jake said, you know what? I'm not going to be that guy. But you know what? At the same time, sign up Seth Lessons for being the guy to do it so we could also talk about it. Because I didn't want to be that guy either. I didn't want to get the heat for it.
I really would have loved just to see the reaction of I don't know if they have an actual social media manager hired fully yet or whatnot. But if they do, that guy had to have been throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah, why would you sit it as unlisted?
Like all because of a listing on YouTube.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was probably not a fun day for somebody there. Needless to say, here's the situation though. Is the logo going to make the football better or worse? Nope. Is it going to make the players better or worse? Nope. Is it going to make the coaches better or worse? Absolutely not. So I'm not angry at it. I just would have liked to see them keep the old logo or tweak the old logo.
Or, hey, take a lesson from, your rival, the USFL. I mean, look, they took classics and they just modernized them a bit.
Which I think the XFL is going to do here, because now we've seen what Vegas is in the mix and Orlando's in the mix. Could we see the Rage? Could we see, what was it, the Outlaws? Was it the Vegas Outlaws?
Well, hey, I'll tell you what, and you might not remember my write-up on this because I don't do enough write-ups. I made a tier list of the 01 teams, top 8. Which one would be most likely to return? You know what was my number one? It was the Las Vegas Outlaws, because the brand still looks modern and the city is a hot sports town.
For sure. Well, and I mean, Sam Boyd Stadium's still there, because I mean, let's be honest, they're not. I don't know what is the Raiders Stadium. I don't know what it's called, but they're not playing there.
Well, they're not going to play in the Roomba because it's
exactly right. But I mean, Sam Boyd it's a nice stadium. It's a good. It will do the trick. And this is my prediction. I know this is the USFL podcast, but I don't care. Get over it, guys. Prediction: Las Vegas is a team. The Outlaws do come back. They host the first game of the season. The Rock comes out and announces it just like he did in 2001.
In the same
place, rebirthing the XFL. He comes out and says, "This is the the whole spiel and schmaz."
Well, that would fit the quote of acknowledge the past, but move on to a new whatever the hell it was that Danny Garcia put on one of those posts, because they do all the celebrity tease stuff, and I'm just gonna put it on here for my words. I hate that crap, but if that's what they want to do, whatever. I'll play the game. Okay, I'm not gonna like it, but I'll play the damn game. I get why
they do it though. It does build. It gets people talking, right? And what do you want at the end? You want people talking about your product. But it seems like, I mean, they promised the news in December. We got a logo. There was a lot of people, I think, that were really hoping or thinking that this was going to be like a big blow to the USFL. Like, okay, the XFL, we know the logo, but they're also going to drop a bunch of news. And they didn't. But there's news clearly coming, because we got confirmation on Terrell Buckley signing on as the Orlando coach. There's another coach in the mix. 2 coaches, 2 new locations. It feels like the drop is coming soon. So stay tuned for that, at least over at xflnewsroom.com. That was our little divergent point. But if you guys are tuning, I know most of the people that watch the USFL enjoy the XFL and vice versa. We had to talk about it. If we didn't talk about this silly logo, people would accuse us of liking it or trying to hide that we didn't like it. You know what I mean?
Well, remember, Daryl Johnston said himself on other guest spots, he's looking forward for competition with the XFL. So they know each other exists. They are not stupid. These are large media or sports venture companies. They know that space is going to be occupied and crowded. And I'll even bring this in because of the fact that I can't believe I'm saying this. And I know they're not as big in terms of investment, so you can shrug it off for now. But we have dedicated Major League Football fans that are sitting here and going, oh my God, we're going to play. We have money. We have social posts now. We're going to have a season.
Here's my confusion.
All in that
Here's my confusion, though, because this is where I'm trying to scratch my head a little bit. I actually do think Major League Football is going to hit the field because, I mean, they hired a couple coaches, Jerry Glanville, for instance.
Fourth one coming next week, apparently, too.
Yes. Now, the promos they've been putting out are around spring football. But to my recollection, they're aiming to play this fall, right?
Nope. Here's where you're getting mixed up. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a
okay. Please do.
Here.
No, I want to hear it.
So here's the deal, and this is kind of dumb, and I know we're again off track. I'm going to make this real quick. There are technically 2 Major League Footballs.
What the hell? Okay.
There is a fall version that is trying to be semi-pro level, and there is MLFB.
Right on.
That is the stock-owned, publicly owned, trading one that is going to be larger.
And they're
scale.
trying to go for 2023 then. They have to.
No. MLFB is playing this year. MLF is also trying to play this or next year, but in the fall.
Screw the one nobody knows about. Let's just talk about Frank Murtha's toy, right?
There you go. That's
playing
the one
this
I'm
year.
talking about. That is what they're saying.
When though?
They're supposedly going to play in either May or June. That is what I keep hearing.
May or June? Oh my God. Okay.
And that apparently they are like, here's the deal. I'm going to just throw a bunch of crap in right now. Apparently they're talking about they're going to finalize venues this month or into next. That they have the team names already finalized. They do, by the way. Website's up. They're doing social postings now. They're getting finances because now I think they got like $15 million or something plus that they're doing for year one, hoping to get more next year because, again, publicly funded or publicly traded. And they're going to supposedly play in 4 venues and travel around the country.
They're really doing I thought they were doing a bubble. Well, first I heard Florida, then I heard San Antonio.
That was what they had talked about. That some of this is rumor because the other rumor is they're going to do a speculation. Yeah, sure. Speculations on MLFB edition. Like they've talked like they're going to have a training camp in San Antonio, and then they're going to go to all their venues. Which, by the way, the 4 states they're going to be in are Texas, Arkansas, Ohio, and Virginia.
You know what? Because I'm assuming it'll be in San Antonio, where they'll be in Texas.
Now, if it is in San Antonio, that just makes things interesting because the XFL.
Well.
Is supposedly going to be. They're
not going to be in the Alamo Dome though. I can't remember the name of the stadium, but I want to say the Spring League did a thing in the San Antonio in like 2019. Maybe that was Austin, but yeah, there's
other
plenty.
Places you can.
There's plenty of places to play football in Texas, Zach. But I'll tell you this: if they are in San Antonio, I'm going. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna email Frankie Boy.
Well, if they're in Ohio, I'm going.
There you go.
That's
we'll get it from the north and the south. We'll just have to go on a day that the USFL is not playing or a time. But I'll definitely go out to a game. Like I said, I'll email Mr. Murtha and say, hey, give me the skinny, and if you give me a free ticket, I'll cover it. So,
there you go. That's your in. That's your in. Apparently, he's very responsive. By the way,
apparently,
like he apparently responds to everyone.
No, I'm always amazed at our Discord. I almost feel bad for the guy because in our Discord, I just see all day. I emailed Frank again. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is just getting blasted by our Discord, and now it's going to come from me.
He needs a burner email. He needs a secondary email.
And maybe this is a segment that we add in, like other leagues corner to cap thing. Because I mean, there's going to be a lot of weird goofiness, but I don't know.
I think it'll develop as we go. Just because, like, right now, like, look, our game we're talking about is the only one in town right now that's in this category. Because I'm not going to bundle the NFL in here because that's not how this works. This ain't the OG that was trying to take down the NFL. Right. This is something that wants to work with the NFL in an ironic twist.
Well, it seems like everybody wants to work with the NFL, but and the good news is it seems like the NFL is looking to reciprocate. So I love to see that. Now I am curious. We kind of talked about this before the show, but no curtains. I'm curious. Let's just take it to the fans. Would you guys watch us on Twitch? And would you want us to talk about other things outside of the USFL? Like if we wanted to do Twitch stream on Major League Football, or Major League Baseball, or Major League Baseball, or hockey, or NBA, I mean, would you tune in? Let us know down in the comments. If you think it's a good idea, also hit the like button on the video too. That'll really let us know if you want us to do it. Because I'm curious. I mean, it's similar to the TikTok and the Instagram thing. I've never really gotten into the Twitch thing. I know you've done a couple streams.
I think they're great for interaction. That's what I love them for. So, again, and you saw it with our draft one. I love interacting with the comments section.
Yeah.
Like that is one of my favorite things with streaming.
So let us know. Let us know. I mean, the season's coming up hot and fast. And I mean, I feel like there's going to be a lot of opportunities. Like imagine, Zach, there's a real barn burner of a game. Both you and I are free after the game. We might just have to go Bill O'Reilly style after some of these games and go live. You know what I mean?
We'll do it live.
So let us know down in the comments below, because I'm curious. That's how I gauge it. If the fans want it, I think it's a good idea. If they don't want it, then I don't really care so much. Maybe try it. Now, I will say this, Zach. I was telling you this earlier. I am probably going to start. It's not going to be a thing. I'm not going to be playing games frequently, but I am probably going to be playing some VR poker on Twitch tomorrow night. So unfortunately, it's under the USFL Podcast Twitch name, so I apologize, Zach. But if you guys want, and if anybody has VR Poker Stars for VR, any VR headset, hit me up. I love VR. Do you have a headset?
I do not.
One day, dude.
Headset.
I'm telling you, VR poker is amazing. Hear me out, Zach. And I know we're at the end of the show, so anybody that would have tuned out is tuned out already. So I'm going to talk about this. VR poker is amazing. Dude, they have fake cigarettes in the game, and they cost real money, or you have to play and earn money.
What?
And it's crazy.
Wait a minute. I want to smoke an actual cigar.
Dude, they have cigars, cigarettes, vapes with different colors. And you know what's nuts, Zach? It almost actually seems like you're smoking. You're so much in the mix, because you'll be in all the poker rooms are different. So they have an old Chinese temple room. They have one that's in the future. So you're sitting there and there's flying cars. They have one that's in space. They have all sorts of goofy rooms, but in the table, you're kind of locked to your seat. You're with, 5-6 other guys, and they have fans you can use. They have, the money machines. You can get drones. You can get straight up a Polaroid camera and take selfies at the table with your players, and it saves it as a picture on your dude. It's so flippin' fun, and it's free. It's free. Zach, I bought a VR headset years ago. The only 2 games I play on it are free. The ones I paid for, I can't get down. VR poker. Here's another thing I love doing, and this is usually later in the night. Once it's 2, 3 in the morning. You're sipping maybe a beer or 2 while you're playing. If you find a good enough table, you end up getting to the point where, because they have coins in the game that you can flip. And so you'll flip the coin. If the coin hits, everybody has to go all in. It's it's one winner take all, legit one winner take all. And it's,
all right.
I mean, I won on a pair of 2s, everybody's money. On a pair of 2s, because we flipped the coin and it said everybody had to go all in. And so I don't know. You end up doing wacky stuff like that. But I do. Here's the thing. It is hard to find a good table until about 11 o'clock at night, because in the daytime, it's all children, 13-year-old kids that got a headset for Christmas. And then they're their body is somehow they've got it to where their body is just floating in the middle of the table. Then it's impossible. But late night poker, oh man, I'm getting excited. I can't wait to render this video.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching your live stream on VR poker.
Dude, it's gonna be there. I'm probably gonna play tonight, because I haven't played poker in forever, just to spruce up so I don't look like a complete novice when I jump on. But tomorrow night, I'm fairly certain I'm going live with some VR action. And I've been waiting to try that out for a while. And I'm telling you, Zach, mark my words. One of these days, we're doing a VR podcast with a crowd. Because I have a way, Zach. I have a way that people can do it with or without a VR headset.
Oh, man.
And we can live stream it. I'm telling you, it could be super, super cool.
You're hearing this right now, all folks. If he puts it in his head, he's gonna
I'm a man of the future. I mean, well,
there it is.
Here's the real deal, though. No joke. I mean, my day job, I do marketing, and I'm actively always looking for ways for us to be different, right? And because of that, I try to do really interesting things here as almost a test bed for what I do for a living. And it wouldn't be a podcast per se, but I have some other applications in my head that I think could be interesting in a different type of industry. But this allows me to like actually test it and see if it works. And I mean, I'm sure there's people that are doing live podcasts in VR, but there's not a lot. And I think it could be a really fun, interesting thing to do. And like I said, even if we just live stream it, and like I said, I could get you in there even if you don't have a VR headset, we can get you set up with an avatar, and you could pick out your character. I might be, I don't know, like a giant carrot or something. I don't know. You could be anything, Zach. You could be anything. Seriously, I'm not joking. My first time I signed into VR chat, the first thing I saw was like a 60-foot tall anime girl. And like, no joke, my avatar, I was like Bugs Bunny or something. And I just look up and it's big, anime girl. And I'm like, whoa, that's a big anime girl. And then the person replies, why are you talking to me like that? And I was like, oh, of course you're not an actual girl. Of course you're not. This is VR world. And I love VR. It's a whole different planet.
So put that in the comments if you want.
We won't have 60-foot anime girls. I mean, maybe someone will be in the crowd with that, but
I know I definitely am not going to pick that.
I think I might have to be the 60-foot anime girl now. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that.
No.
I'm going to be the 60. Can I be? I wonder if they just have a ref shirt with nothing else attached, just a shirt.
Just a shirt.
I know there's I have a helicopter that is Donkey from Shrek. I mean, whenever I'm in VR chat and I see somebody with a cool avatar, I say, because you can save them. And I don't know what it was. Okay. And it flies around. And it's a helicopter, but the face of the helicopter, the front of the helicopter is Donkey's face from Shrek. Why? I don't know. But I saw it and I said, I need to have that. But yeah, one of these days, we're going to have to figure that VR podcast out. Maybe that'll be what we try after the season's over. News is kind of slow. Try something different. I think it'd be cool because think about this. We can actively select users to talk. So we could have like question and answer. People can legit raise their hand in the game and we unmute them, let them talk, mute them, move on to the next one. I mean, it could be really neat. It could be really fun. Something different. Anyway, now I know that we're beyond repairing anything that we're talking about. So I think it's probably about time to wrap things up.
I think
we hit all the major points.
I think we're good.
And all the other things that we absolutely didn't need to talk about, including 60-foot anime girls. But anyway, I was tired at the beginning of this. I'm jived up now. We got a week left until SpringStock and the USFL kickoff, April 16th. 12 p.m. Central. The party's in the parking lot, in the green lot.
Yes.
We got a whole bunch of guests. We talked about them in the beginning. You can go over at our socials, by the way, USFL Podcast over on Twitter. We'll have all the guests listed there, but also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and maybe one of these days we'll join those folks over at the USFL on TikTok. And maybe, and again, it's not football related, but if you head over to twitch.com/USFL Podcast, who knows what you're going to see when I'm in VR tomorrow. It will be family friendly, though. That is, mark my words, Zach. I'm not a crazy man.
Good to let the folks know.
Well, I don't want them to be
good.
disappointed either. I might have built it up too much and they're expecting it. Anyway, we're done talking about that. Join us. We're going to be having a lot of fun. We might be doing more live streams throughout the year over on Twitch. So, hey, maybe go give it I don't know what you do. Follow, subscribe, click a button. If there's a bell, get it. You'll get some morale. I don't know. I'll have to come up with a catchy phrase for Twitch.
And drop us a review, by the way, for podcasts. We are looking to get a few more of those. That does help.
Let me ask you. So who does the reviews? I know Apple does the reviews. Spotify does the reviews now.
Podcast Addict also
Very
does.
good. Those three. Sign you up. Do you want us to feel good? Do you want us to have a smile on our face when we arrive to Birmingham, Alabama? Well, it's going to be hard to stop it, but it's going to be even bigger if you drop some of those stars. Sign us up. So, yeah, I mean, reviews. I'll have to think of a funny catchphrase for that one. Anyway, sign us up on social media. If you're not subscribed, click the button, click the bell. It builds morale, all that fun stuff. Zach, any parting words before we roll into the sunset on episode 14?
Can't wait to land for our 15th episode on April 15th. We're in the single digits, baby. Let's get at it. It's almost time. We're almost here for the inaugural game.
We're getting hype. Son. So sign everybody up. Thanks for joining. Tune in every Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern on YouTube or your platform of choice. Boom.